Yo, we back. CT's RPT, Real Prison Talk with Wes. And I know I said in my last video I had got kind of discouraged about even doing these videos because of what the halfway house was putting me through. I was living in the halfway house at the time. For those of y'all that didn't see my last video, I was living in the halfway house at the time. They somehow, DOC, well, not somehow, I know exactly how, DOC got wind of my YouTube channel because I had inmates calling from jail and telling their stories. So the halfway house had took my phone and they had me under investigation for gang affiliation and a bunch of go back to jail stuff, And it was really like the love from y'all out there that really made me decide that I'm gonna keep this channel going, because I was really ready to just shut it down because I didn't want to become a martyr. Like I've been incarcerated for a long time, and now I'm home and I just got my own place. I got a decent job. I'm getting my life back together, and I didn't want to risk it and go back to jail. Like, I got kids that was kids when I left, and they two young ladies now. I got a little old mother that's not getting no younger. Probably gonna kill me when she hear that I called her old on the internet. But I mean, Mom, if I'm 40, you ain't young. And I really didn't really want to risk going back to jail, going back to prison, because I still got a lot of time over my head. I'm out on parole, but I currently owe them until 2026 is my discharge date, and then I got special parole until 2034. Like, they really smoked me for drugs, like for selling drugs. I came out here to sell drugs and they smoked me. But like I said, it was the love that I got that made me decide to do it. And it ain't even like I got a lot of subscribers like that. I think I got like 200 subscribers or something like that, 260 or 70 subscribers. But like, if I could reach just one person and help one person or educate one person based on my experience from being in prison, then that's what I do this for. I'm not doing this for no type of clout. I'm definitely not doing this to promote the craziness that DOC was trying to say I was trying to promote. And I got connected with a lot of good people. You know what I mean? Shout out to the people that reached out to me. Like, I met one female and she's going through it with her boyfriend, prison relationship issues, And I try to help her out as much as I can by just giving her his insight, like what he might be going through and what's going on in his head and whatnot. And then I met another female who, I guess the fear for a lot of females is, am I being played? So, and this is a smart black woman I was talking to. She's part of a prison wives group, and she has her own YouTube channel. I wish I could think of the name of it. I'm gonna plug it as soon as I think the name of it. But I'm actually working on doing something with her to where we do something together and put it on both our channels. It's just like I said, I'm still learning this technology. So I don't even know, like, I know how to record the video I'm doing now, but I don't know if it's possible to, like, FaceTime somebody and then record that. And me and her could build on FaceTime and I could probably record that. But I know she was going through a situation with her boyfriend where he like got into a fight or something, and she just lost contact with him. Didn't hear from him, like. And I really didn't want her to think that, because nobody wants to be getting played. So I know in jail, crazy thoughts go through our head. Like, your girl, your wife, your shorty, whatever you want to call her. You call her one night and she ain't answering the phone, and then you go back in that cell and your thoughts start eating away at you. I'm laying back on my bunk and I'm looking at the ceiling, and there's so much going through my head, like, oh, she probably doing this, she probably doing that. And she probably sleep, you know what I mean? She probably was doing that. I don't know, you know what I mean? But it's just, the cell plays tricks with your mind. So if we go through it out in there, I know, well, now I know that females go through it out here. Because when you have a fight in jail, you go to the box. When you go to the box, whoever you was calling, that's dead. You can't use the phone in the box. But now I see, as a female out here, and you don't hear from this dude, you like, oh, I don't put money on this dude books, and I don't held him down. Was he playing me all along? And it's not getting no better. The box is getting worse. Just to keep it all the way a buck with you, like, when I first came out here, I went to jail, and I don't want to say immediately, but I went to jail rather quickly. I had a little run. Before I know it, they was kicking in my door and hauling me off to jail. And this was 2009, about 10 years ago, 10, 11 years ago. And I had my fair share of box trips. Like, I wasn't really a jail dude, so it was like, I did all the wrong things. Ended up in a box a lot. But as horrible as it was, they figured out a way to make it worse. Like, you go to the box back then, the first thing I do is get me a little book to read. Do a lot of reading in the box. And the counselor will come through every week and give you envelopes, because of course you don't have your property, so it ain't like you can write your peoples and be like, yo, this is what's going on. So the counselor's job, every Monday, I think it was 2 envelopes a week. I don't remember how much it was. Maybe 5. No, I think it was like 2. I can't remember exactly what it was. It wasn't a lot, though. You had to, what I used to do was pile a lot of letters into one envelope and send it to somebody and tell them, like, yo, get this letter to this person, get this letter to that person. Because I think you only get like 2 envelopes a week. And that was how I would let my loved ones know, like, what was going on with me, because all of a sudden the phone calls just stopped. Like, and I know, shit, I got moms that worry about me harder than me. So I stopped calling, and she start calling. I stopped calling, she start calling. Start calling the jail, harassing them people, like, yo, what's up with my son? He call all the time and I ain't heard from him in a week. That was then. And those were still horrible situations. Like, but now, I don't know how every jail is. Mind you, I'm in Connecticut. And when I first went to jail, this last bid that I'm home from right now, I was a little wiser. So I didn't make as many box trips, and I had a lot more time. My last jail sentence, I was sentenced to 3 years. This jail sentence, I was sentenced to 12 years. And when you got a lot of time, your comfortability is very important, and the box is not very comfortable. So I only went to the box one time, and it was New Haven, Connecticut County Jail. And you no longer, first thing I did was ask for a book, my routine. I get to the box, I said, okay, this is familiar. I know this. I've seen this story before. I know how this is going to end. Yo, bro, let me get a book. I asked the tier man. That's what you do. The tier man come around cleaning. Yo, bring me a book when you come back around. Dude was like, yo, you must ain't been here in a while. I'm like, why, what up? Like, can't have books no more, bro. Like, we can't have books in the box? Like, What type of? The only book you can have is the Bible. I'll bring you a Bible. And that's one of the reasons, aside from the fact that my mom's is a pastor, that's another reason why I know the Bible so much. That's the only book I had to read. I read that book front to back. Next, I'm like, Monday come around. All right, well, what the counselor at with my envelopes like? Oh, the counselor don't come up here and give out no envelopes and pencils and pens no more. You can't even write a letter. I don't know how I figured out a way to get me a pen and some paper. Oh, you know what? I used the request. You can write requests to the counselors, to whoever you want to write a request to, whatever DOC official you want to write a request to. So I act like I wanted to write the counselor, and then I will write on the back of the request my letters. And I'm like, I'll borrow an envelope for somebody. Can't even write in your cell no more. The CO sees me and he's like, yo, how you get pen and paper in there? Like, what you mean how I get pen and paper in here? He's like, yo, you can't be in there writing. I can't even write my peoples. He's like, yeah, you have to use your rec. You get an hour outside of that cage. That cage that you're in, you get an hour a day outside of it. Within that hour, you also have to take a shower, though. If you're in the box, you're not using the phone. So you take your shower, and then that's when you borrow a pen and paper from the officer in the bubble. And you better write fast, I guess, because usually when I write a letter, I take my time. I got a whole, like, when I'm in jail, there's a whole routine I go through. I put my music on, depending on who I'm writing, is depending on what I'm listening to. And sometimes it takes me a couple days to write a letter. I did a lot of reading and writing in jail. So I write, might put it up, do some reading, next day write. But when you only got an hour, you got to get it all in, whatever you got to say, in an hour, because when your hour record's up, you go back in that cell, you're not supposed to take that pen and paper in there with you. So, back to the female that I was talking to that hadn't heard from her man. He had got into a fight, and she hadn't heard from him. But it's natural to feel like, yo, is he avoiding me? Like, was he playing me the whole time? And I don't even know the dude, but I know jail, and jail is not the place where dudes get tired of people. Like, you gotta, if a dude get tired of you in jail, if he in jail and he get tired of you and stop calling you right, and I'm trying to watch my language, but you gotta be some type of individual, because as lonely, as dark and lonely as prison is, we reach out and grasp any type of love we could get. So, to anybody that's out there that might not have heard from him, and I'm not saying that he not playing you. Like, I'm not on either side here. I'm just keeping it all the way 100. Like, I'm not gonna say he is. I'm not gonna say he not, because I don't know this dude. He might really love you. He might really just need somebody to take care of him. Like, unfortunately, with anything that's worth having, there's always gonna come a risk within getting it. But what I can tell you is, if you ain't heard from him, he might be in some type of trouble. He might be in a box. There's a reason why. He ain't just, I guess he just that dude. Like, maybe he just that dude and he got so much love that he can afford to turn some down. But that's rare. So, if the dude ain't calling you, he ain't write you, it's maybe not because he was trying to play you or anything, because I might lose my gentleman card behind this, but to be real with you, when dudes play females, they don't stop playing them until the jail bid is over. It ain't like, I got 10 years in here and I'm going to play this chick for 2, and then the other 8 be lonely and cold in my cell at night with nobody to talk to. Nah. So, unfortunately, you might not find out if he playing you or not until he come home. That's when you get to see the real him. That's when you get to see, because a lot of times in prison, another thing we do we don't want to turn you away. So we try to be as nice, and that's the best word that could come to mind, as nice as we could be, you know, because I've dealt with people that say, "Oh, Wes, you've changed since you've been home," and I like to feel like I'm the same, but I guess even myself, I'm guilty of it also. Like if I meet you and I'm talking to you, I don't want to be that arrogant asshole that I could be to somebody that don't know me. Now, I mean, once you get to know me, then you know what I am. You know what it is with me. Then you already know. Like, yeah, this dude could be pretty arrogant at times. He could be an asshole at times. But I know him well enough to know he's a good dude. But if you don't know me and I'm just on the phone being an arrogant asshole, you like, yeah, this is my last time talking to this guy. So, like I said, if you haven't heard from your dude in a while, or you think he playing you because he ain't calling and he ain't writing, he probably somewhere thinking the same thing in the cell, like, especially in a box, because you can't have no prop, you can't have no book or nothing. So all we got is our thoughts to eat away at us. He's like, damn, what is she out there doing? And it's crazy that it affects both of us, you know? And on that note, I'm going to end it, you know? And I made up my mind that I'm going to continue doing this channel, you know? It's just, I got a lot of other things going right now, especially with this job that I got. Like, I'm not going to be able to do them every day. There was a time where I was putting a video up every day. But I was in a halfway house with no job. Nothing to do but put a video up. I was going to look for work, and I'd put a video up on my way to the interview. And now I got a job, and it's crazy. Like, I just work 7 days a week, 10-hour shifts, 7 days. Like, and then now they about to give us 14-hour-a-day shifts. And I'm going to put in another 7 days. I'm supposed to have weekends off, but shit, while the overtime is there, I'm going to chew. So I might not be able to put one up every day, but I'm going to make sure I don't forget about my people. And if you got any questions, if you haven't already, first of all, if you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Subscribe to my channel. If you got any questions, you could drop me a line here. You can follow me on Instagram at WES.129. That is my Instagram, right? WES.129. Yeah, it sounded funny saying it just now. And any questions that you drop me, I guarantee you, anybody that ever wrote me, asked me anything, can never say that I haven't responded. I respond to everybody. And on that note, peace.